Uh, I will correct one thing right out of the gates. Ripple did not actually
If I
issue.
care. In today's payment world, the standards are really different around the world. So if you're
What's up,
using
future millionaires? Welcome back to the channel. It's so good to see you all again. I hope you're absolutely crushing it today, no matter where you are in this amazing world of ours. Today, we're diving deep into some absolutely incredible XRP news that's going to blow your mind. And let me tell you, this is huge. So check this out. I just got some breaking intel from Dennis Angel that's going to change everything. Are you ready for this? The XRP Ledger smart contracts feature is now live for developers to explore and test on something called AlphaNet. Now, if you're wondering what AlphaNet is, it's basically a dedicated playground where developers can test out all the cool new features. But here's where it gets really exciting. This isn't just any ordinary update. We're talking about a complete game changer that brings native Layer 1 smart contract capabilities directly to the XRP Ledger. Think about that for a second. What makes this absolutely revolutionary is that it combines the familiar design patterns that developers already love from EVM-style contracts with the incredible power and speed of XRP's native features. It's like getting the best of both worlds, and trust me, this is exactly what we've been waiting for.
And you know what? This has been the missing piece of the puzzle that we've all been talking about for years. Smart contracts. That was literally the one thing holding XRP back from total domination in the crypto space. But now, everything's changed. With the EVM Sidechain finally here and smart contract development taking off like a rocket, we're about to see an absolute flood of new projects choosing the XRP Ledger as their home base. And here's the thing that gets me so excited. This isn't just a one-time boost. We're talking about a snowball effect here, people. Every single project that builds on XRP is going to add more value, more utility, and more reasons for other developers to jump on board. It's like XRP just unlocked a whole new level in the crypto game, and we're just getting started. The momentum this is going to create, absolutely unstoppable. Now listen to this, and I want you to really let this sink in for a moment. If XRP just repeats what it did during that legendary 2017 to 2018 bull run, and I'm talking about the exact same performance, we would be looking at XRP hitting $1,700 per coin. And get this, I'm not just throwing out round numbers here. We're talking about $1,697.27 to be precise. Let me say that again, $1,697.27 per XRP. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds absolutely insane, right? But here's the thing. We've seen XRP do the impossible before. And with everything that's happening right now in the crypto space, with all the institutional adoption, the regulatory clarity we're getting, this isn't just wishful thinking, future millionaires. This is what the math is telling us. Now, hold on a second. Before you start planning your retirement party, let me bring you back down to earth for a moment. I know everyone and their brother is talking about that 2017, 2018 run and throwing around these crazy numbers. But here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you, future millionaires. Do I think we're going to see XRP hit $1,697? Look, I've got to keep it real with you. That's highly unlikely. I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. But, and this is a big but, don't think for a second that I'm bearish on XRP. Not even close. I absolutely believe we're going to see some seriously impressive price points for XRP. We're talking about numbers that are going to make a lot of people very, very happy. The difference is, I want to set realistic expectations here, because when XRP does start climbing, and trust me, it will, I want you to be prepared for what's actually possible, not chasing impossible dreams. Make sense? Now, what do I actually think is realistic? I'm talking $50 plus, maybe even $100 plus. And honestly, those numbers alone would be absolutely life-changing for most of us. But $1,700? Look, who really knows if that's going to happen, right? I'm just being honest with you, I don't see it happening. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is something a lot of people aren't talking about. It all depends on where you think we are in this cycle compared to that legendary 2017-2018 run. Are we still down here at the bottom, just getting started? Or are we already halfway up that massive green candle? Because that makes all the difference in the world. I'm seeing tons of analysts out there saying we're already halfway up the green candle. And if that's true, then don't expect those crazy explosive gains we saw back in the day. But, and here's what keeps me excited, I want to remind you of something incredible. Back in 2017, people thought XRP was only going to hit 25 cents, a quarter. And what happened? It absolutely demolished expectations and rocketed all the way to over $3. We're talking about going from a fraction of a penny to $3.84. So look, I never say anything's impossible in crypto. Never. The market has a way of surprising all of us. I just think we need to keep our expectations grounded in reality. All right, future millionaires, let's tackle the million-dollar question. Literally, how confident am I that holding 5,000 XRP will make you a millionaire by 2026? First things first, and I can't stress this enough, forget about specific numbers when it comes to how much XRP you should hold. I always tell you guys the same thing. Buy whatever you can actually afford to lose. That's it. Don't stretch yourself thin chasing some magic number. But let's do the math here for fun. For 5,000 XRP to make you a millionaire in 2026, we'd need XRP to hit $200 per coin. Now, will that actually happen? Here's the thing. I think there's definitely a possibility. And here's why I'm cautiously optimistic. If the inflows from those XRP ETFs blow our expectations out of the water, and I mean absolutely destroy what we're expecting, then we could see some serious fireworks. Plus, you've got to factor in the Clarity Act finally giving us that regulatory certainty we've been waiting for. Then there's institutional adoption picking up steam like never before. And beyond all of that, we're starting to see real utility actually driving XRP's price instead of just speculation. But being realistic, I think $50 to $100 is very achievable during this cycle. That's still life-changing money for most of us. And if history repeats itself, I think we'll see the top sometime in early 2026. Now, some people are saying that because this cycle got delayed, XRP is going to keep running until this time next year. But here's the truth. Nobody can confirm that either way. Just like nobody can guarantee we're going to follow that exact 2017-2018 playbook. The crypto market loves to keep us all guessing. Look, I just had to share my thoughts on this because everywhere I look, people are saying XRP is perfectly mirroring that 2017-2018 run. And yeah, I get it. When you look at the charts side by side, they do look incredibly similar right now. It's actually pretty wild how closely they match. But here's where I want to pump the brakes a little bit. Just because the charts look similar doesn't guarantee that history is going to repeat itself exactly the same way. The crypto market has a funny way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. That said, let me blow your mind with something absolutely fascinating. I just came across this incredible theory from an analyst about who actually built the XRP Ledger, and more importantly, why this could make Ripple the most valuable company on the planet. This is where things get really interesting, future millionaires, so make sure you're paying attention because what I'm about to share with you is going to completely change how you think about XRP and Ripple's true potential. Okay, so here's where this theory gets absolutely mind-blowing. What they're suggesting is that the government actually built the XRP Ledger. Now, I don't know if I'm ready to go that far, but here's what I think might be closer to the truth. I believe it could have been built by people who once worked for the government. You know, former insiders who understood exactly how the financial system needed to evolve. And here's where it gets really crazy. I think there's a strong possibility that David Schwartz, yes, our very own Joel Katz, was actually one of the creators of Bitcoin. Picture this. Him and 3 other brilliant minds working together as the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto. But here's the kicker. After they created Bitcoin and saw its limitations, they said, "We can do better than this." And that's when they went on to build something truly revolutionary, the XRP Ledger. Think about it for a second. Who better to create the next generation of digital money than the people who created the first generation? It would explain so much about why XRP is so far ahead of everything else in terms of speed, efficiency, and real-world utility. This isn't just some random conspiracy theory, future millionaires. The pieces actually fit together perfectly. And even Brad Garlinghouse confirmed this. Take a listen.
I will correct one thing right out of the gates. Ripple did not actually issue XRP. The XRP Ledger is an open source, decentralized technology, not dissimilar than Bitcoin. And some of the creators of the XRP Ledger actually had been early engineers that worked on Bitcoin. And they saw some of the scalability problems that Bitcoin was likely to have, the speed, both from a energy consumption, cost, some of the other problems. And they wanted to build a better digital asset to solve some of these problems.
They didn't just build another cryptocurrency, they built a better Bitcoin. And that's exactly what makes this so exciting. Now look, I'm not saying the US government directly created the XRP Ledger. That might be taking it a bit too far. But what I do think is entirely possible? Former government insiders, people who really understood the financial system from the inside out, said, "Hey, we can fix all these problems we're seeing with Bitcoin." And here's what absolutely blows me away about XRP. It's like they took Bitcoin, put it under a microscope, identified every single flaw and limitation, and then systematically solved every one of them. Think about it, future millionaires. Bitcoin takes forever to process transactions and uses massive amounts of energy. XRP? Lightning fast and incredibly efficient. Bitcoin can only handle a few transactions per second. XRP? Thousands. Bitcoin's fees can go through the roof during busy times. XRP? Practically free to use. It's like they had a checklist of everything wrong with Bitcoin and made sure XRP was the perfect solution. That's not an accident. That's brilliant engineering by people who knew exactly what needed to be fixed. And here's something that's going to absolutely blow your mind. Bitcoin was essentially a test coin from the very beginning. This incredible insight comes from Don Quack over at EZA, and it perfectly explains everything we've been talking about. Now, here's something I've noticed in the crypto space, and I bet you've seen this too. Most people fall into one of two camps. They either only care about token price, the classic when moon crowd, or they're completely obsessed with the tech and developers but ignore the price entirely. But here's the secret sauce that most people miss. To truly succeed in crypto, you absolutely need to understand both sides. And let me tell you why this is so critical. You've got to focus on token price because price drives sentiment. Think about it. No developer in their right mind wants to build on a blockchain where the token is crashing every day. But you also need to focus on the developers because they're the ones building real utility. Plus, you need to understand the technology so you can actually see the massive potential of what can be built on it. That's exactly why the team at EZA focuses on both angles, and it's brilliant. But here's what drives me crazy. I see so many people every single day asking, why is XRP's price down today? Everyone's just staring at the charts, obsessing over daily price movements. Future millionaires, you've got to zoom out and look at the big picture. You need to understand what XRP was actually built to accomplish if you want to see where this rocket ship is heading. XRP was designed to be the world's bridge currency. And when I say bridge, I mean it can connect anything of value. We're talking tokenized assets, fiat currencies, central bank digital currencies, stable coins. It doesn't matter what it is. XRP was engineered to bridge it all together seamlessly.
Crypto researcher Smoke shared a Ripple statement. We have been aligned with ISO 222 from day one. Now, I keep seeing all these people online saying that ISO compliance isn't going to be a big deal. They're like, oh, it's not going to bring any real value to these cryptocurrencies. It's just regulatory nonsense. But hold up a second. If ISO compliance is supposedly so meaningless, then why on earth did Ripple spend all that time, energy, and resources to become aligned with ISO standards from day one? Think about it, future millionaires. These aren't amateur developers we're talking about. Ripple has some of the smartest minds in the entire crypto space. They don't waste time on things that don't matter. Every single decision they make is calculated and strategic. So if they made ISO compliance a priority from the very beginning, you better believe there's a massive reason behind it. They saw something that most people are completely missing. Let me share something with you that's going to open your eyes to why this ISO alignment is actually huge for XRP's future. Take a listen to this.
High care. In today's payment world, the standards are really different around the world. So if you're using the SWIFT system or TIPS in Europe or Fed in US, you follow a different protocol. In addition, the data that you can transfer, the richness of that data is really limited. So what you get is a bunch of closed networks that don't speak to each other and unstructured data that's opaque. So there's a lot of manual intervention and ultimately a really poor payment experience. With ISO 20022, these problems will be solved. So ISO 20022 is a global standard for financial information exchange. This enables interoperability between different systems, straight-through processing of payments, and rich data transfer. And it'll also foster competition because it's open and flexible. At Ripple, we've been aligned with ISO 20022 from day one. We've always recognized that this is the direction of payments and it'll be better for everyone. And we were really a first mover on that front. We've also joined the standard body to help contribute to how payments will shape in the future. Going back to your point around security, Ripple's also really committed to the highest standards in safety, privacy, and security. And a testament to this is that we have our SOC 2 certification. For those not very familiar with SOC 2, SOC 2 reports give really valuable information about an organization's security capabilities, so each of their customers and users can have confidence in that service, which means that anyone using Ripple's solution knows that we adhere to the most modern security and privacy standards. And in line with that, we've also received our SOC 2 Type 2 report. So not only do we have the policies and processes in place around various criteria related to security, availability, and the integrity of the system, but also that we've been doing so consistently for a period of time.
Did you catch what she just said there? Because this is absolutely huge. She mentioned that ISO 20022 is all about payments. Now, what is Ripple's entire focus? Cross-border payments. It's like they had a crystal ball and saw exactly where the financial world was heading. But here's what really got my attention. She also talked about security. And think about what people want most when they're moving their hard-earned money around the world. They want three things: fast, cheap, and secure transactions. That's it. That's the holy trinity of payments. Now here's the kicker that gives me absolute chills. Ripple wasn't just aligned with ISO 20022 from day one. They were one of the first movers in this space. While everyone else was still figuring out what blockchain even meant, Ripple was already positioning themselves for the future of global finance. And this tells you everything you need to know, future millionaires. This ISO compliance is going to bring massive value to cryptocurrencies. And here's the best part. It's not just going to benefit XRP. We're talking about an entire ecosystem of digital assets that are going to ride this wave of institutional adoption. But guess who's going to be leading the charge? The company that saw this coming from miles away.
This incredible insight comes from Harl Lin, and what he's sharing is absolutely mind-blowing. ISO 20022 isn't some distant future possibility anymore, future millionaires. It's happening right now. We're literally talking about days away from full implementation. And let me tell you, this is going to be absolutely huge for crypto holders across the board. Like, we're talking about a complete game changer that's going to reshape the entire landscape of digital assets. Harlan does an absolutely incredible breakdown of what this means, and trust me, you're going to want to hear every single word of this. The timing couldn't be more perfect and the implications are staggering. So buckle up, because what you're about to learn is going to completely change how you think about crypto's immediate future. But here's what's absolutely brilliant about Harlan's breakdown. He didn't just focus on XRP. He included all the major ISO 20022 cryptocurrencies, and when you see them lined up together like this, it's incredible. Let me walk you through this powerhouse lineup, future millionaires, because each one of these is positioned to absolutely dominate their space. First up, we've got XRP and XLM, the OG cross-border payment kings. They've been laser-focused on banking corridors from day one. Then there's ADA. Cardano is building a massive platform with serious ambitions for financial infrastructure. Smart contracts plus staking? That's a winning combination right there. HBAR is absolutely fascinating. It's got this enterprise-grade ledger and governance model that's specifically targeted at institutions and payments. And let me tell you, their growth has been eerily similar to Ripple's. Algo brings scalability and low fees to the table with major DeFi and payment ambitions. It's such a well-rounded cryptocurrency with incredible potential. But here's where it gets really exciting. QNT is the interoperability layer, the quant overledger. When different industry systems need bridges, QNT is going to be the solution. It's literally going to be the glue holding this entire new financial system together. XDC is targeting trade finance and corporate banking use cases with their hybrid blockchain. Mark my words, XDC is going to emerge as the absolute king of digital trade. And IOTA? Oh man, with the rise of AI and Industry 4.0, IOTA is going to be an absolute monster. They're handling data and value flows in the Internet of Things and machine economy, perfect for real-time payments. Now, let's talk about some exciting developments. HBAR has been growing at an absolutely alarming rate throughout the entire bear market, just like Ripple. And ADA? I was honestly on the fence about Cardano early on, but then Charles Hoskinson took those 2 weeks off, came back, and everything changed. Now he's trying to partner up with Ripple and everyone else in this space. And of course, we can't forget our favorites, XRP and XLM. XRP has always been the bank-to-bank money, while XLM focuses more on person-to-person transactions and remittances. But here's something absolutely crucial that I want you to understand. If XRP is going to hit those insane price points we've been talking about, XLM is coming along for the ride. These two have been running together for years. We've seen it happen multiple times. So what's everyone saying about this cycle?
If we're really following that 2017-2018 playbook and XRP somehow rockets to $1,700, then XLM should easily blast past $500. Now, do I think that's going to happen? That's the million-dollar question. But here's the one thing I want to make absolutely crystal clear, future millionaires. Everything is uncertain until it actually happens. I keep hearing people say, I can't see that happening. That's
Never going to occur. And then bam, it happens, and everyone's jaws are on the floor. We've seen this exact scenario play out with XRP so many times. Remember back in December 2020 when the Ripple versus SEC case started? People were literally writing XRP's obituary. They said, that's it, it's over for XRP, game over. And what did everyone do? They panic sold and dumped their tokens. But you know what I did? I bought more. Every single time Gary Gensler would call something a security, I would go out and buy that cryptocurrency. Because here's what I learned a long time ago. The crypto market has a funny way of making the impossible seem inevitable.
The best crypto for higher returns. Of course, XRP made the list. Future millionaires, we are witnessing the institutional catalyst awakening for XRP, and it's absolutely incredible. Just look at that chart. When you see those return on investment numbers, it's mind-blowing. I honestly don't understand how people are still ignoring this cryptocurrency. Like seriously, XRP has hands down the best chart in all of crypto right now. You can literally see those massive green candles just waiting to explode, one right after another. It's like watching a rocket on the launch pad, fully fueled and ready for liftoff. But here's the thing, and I cannot stress this enough. You have to position yourself before this happens. Right now, you're still early. You're still ahead of the curve. But once those institutions flood in with their billions of dollars, that window of opportunity slams shut forever. You're only early until the big money arrives. Once Wall Street and the major institutions are here in full force, it'll be too late to get in at these prices. So until that rocket takes off, here's what we're going to do. Stay patient, stay positive, and let's build this wealth together. Because when this thing finally explodes, we want to be the ones celebrating, not the ones watching from the sidelines. All right, future millionaires, that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I seriously appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are the best community on YouTube. I'll catch you in the next one, and until then, keep stacking and keep believing. Have an absolutely amazing night, and remember, we're building our futures together, one video at a time.